Hi, I'm Pam Schedivy. I am the second year term Exalted Ruler for Oshkosh Elks Lodge 292. I'm also one of 2 grant coordinators for this lodge.
It's really a great organization. I've been in it for 18 years now.
One of the first things I say as we're welcoming the new members is you've made a wise choice by joining the Elks Lodge 292, any Elks Lodge, because it is such a charitable organization and they do so much for the community.
Rather than just writing a check to an organization, you can actually go in with the backpacks, buy the books, and see firsthand how much they're appreciated.
You don't realize what's needed out there until you go in among the schools. Yes. I had no idea, honestly, that we needed this, that some of these students needed this much help.
I had been hearing that there were these schools that had an after-school program called the Lighted Schoolhouse program, and these are schools that have a 60% or greater poverty rate. So I went on my computer and I pulled up the Lighted Schoolhouse program and found out which schools in our community carried that program. The Lighted Schoolhouse program's name is Read, Feed, and Arts program. We tackle literacy through the read portion by purchasing books.
Putting books in the hands of kids that don't have them, that is one of the biggest things, I think. We had a great way of making a connection to kids and books through a dog that came to our school. Her name was Sadie. So the kids got to read with the dog. They made a great connection and had that closeness, that love of the pet being there. The dog was listening to the story at the same time the kids were, and it was just a great way to pull all of those things together. It's making friendships as well as exposing them to great literature.
The feed portion is children often are hungry because their families are poor and can't have decent food. So we decided we'd have a meal for these children and their parents when they came.
The kids were just so excited. Every time we have a meal for them, we send them home with their families, and some of them had more than just the one kid. So we sent enough food there for the whole family, and then send them home. That's what it's all about.
The arts program, there's music, there's the hands-on painting or clay, and that's the part that touches the soul.
We came up with this plan where we wanted the students to have something they could make, an art project they could make that day that they wouldn't normally get to make. We purchased these canvas panels and acrylic paints. You could tell the room had a lot of pride, like they were really excited about it, and they got little bags to take their boards home. They're very worried because they hadn't let their canvas dry, and okay, then I'm gonna come in right after school and get it. They were definitely excited and very proud of the project.
For music, I got together with the music teacher and asked what needs she might have, and she mentioned African instruments.
Having that grant to get all those drums was like boom, and then now the next teacher is set up for decades.
Then we as the Elks went in there and joined the children during a couple music classes, and we actually got to play the drums along with them. It is the fun part of the grant, being able to sit amongst the children, to see the joy on their faces.
I think seeing different people from outside our small little building just makes it more real for them.
When you have children in broken homes, in poverty situations, life can look a little bleak. And when they can paint a picture that has beautiful colors, that is like a rainbow, and they can take it home and hang it on their wall, there's a piece that went home with them that lifts them up. When I was at Roosevelt School, there was a little boy one day who showed his daddy his shoe, and it was all broken, and the dad had this look on his face like, how am I going to take care of this? And then the next day it snowed, and all I could picture when I was sitting there was this little boy walking through that parking lot with no boots or nothing on his feet but a pair of socks. And I'm like, okay, what can I do to make a difference? I'm an Elk. Being an Elk is about making a difference. It's about impacting lives and getting out there and doing it. So I wrote the grant for the boots.
We've had kids come in sandals and flip-flops in the middle of winter. So to be able to put boots on kids, that's a big deal. And boots are expensive, so it's a huge resource and a huge help for those families that are struggling to make ends meet, and they can take something like boots and cross that off their list because that need was met here at the Boys and Girls Club because of the Elks Club.
had our middle schoolers and high schoolers being able to experience a timber rattler game with Elks members, and the kids actually got concessions, which was really exciting to them. And then they also brought us a bunch of Easter baskets, and we were able to give our kids Easter baskets and send them home with our families, which the kids were super excited about. And we have tons of pictures of kids walking out with their Easter baskets and talking about their Easter experience because of the Elks.
I'm the Housing Services Coordinator for the Simianas. The way I became involved with the Freedom Grant process through the Elks Club was Pam Schedivy. She was very passionate about the Elks Club and also very passionate about our residents and wanting to get them involved. She wrote a grant so that she could get supplies for homeless veterans. And part of the supplies that they were going to give the veterans were a homemade scarf. So the residents of the Simianas rallied together and they knitted the scarves so that there would be something very special that they could give to these veterans.
I made scarves for them. And I'm making mats out of plastic bags for the homeless veterans or whoever needs them, and I'm working on those as well.
I think any organization that works to make the veterans of our country's lives a little bit easier is a very worthwhile thing. I have a daughter that's active duty Air Force, so this is extremely important to me.
I believe CIP Grants has helped Oshkosh 292 become more transparent in the community. Financially, we were struggling a little bit.
Hopefully the other lodges are able to expand their community awareness by applying for these grants in the future.
And by getting out there into the community and working and knowing about these people and helping them out, and we are willing to do what we have to do to make a difference in their lives.
Being able to have extra monies to go out there and make our name known and make the Elks name known even more importantly. And the CIP Grants has opened doors unbelievably into our community and help us get to know the community better and also to share in the community and make a difference in those lives that needed touching.